what's up, guys? Dylan Johnson from Soccer Mag here, and welcome back to another episode of Mixing with the DJs. I'm joined by my fellow DJ Dylan Jack, and today we'll be doing a preview of Game Week 11 of the Premier League, just before the international break. It's a pretty exciting week. The past 2 weeks have been pretty good, but some massive games in here for the top three. Top three, top four, top five, because Nottingham Forest are in there as well.
Yeah.
First up, we have Brentford versus Bournemouth. I think this could be a pretty exciting game because Brentford at home, they'll be wanting to go for it. Bournemouth in great form, and it would probably be disappointing from their side to drop points against Brentford after the run they've had recently.
Yeah, I can see plenty of goals in this game. I think it's just both teams are flying. Both teams have got good results recently. And, I think Brentford will be the favourites playing at home. I think they should be, they've got a good record at home. But at Bournemouth have shown quite a big threat. We've seen the results that they've got recently. So I think this could be a good high-scoring 2-2 draw or something like that.
I
really
agree.
Exciting.
I'm going for 2-2 as well. It might be interesting to see because the past three games, easy for Bournemouth to get psyched up against City, Villa and Arsenal. How do they respond now to Brentford, who have been inconsistent but have a threat 100%? So I'm thinking 2-2. I think if there was to be a win, I think Brentford might sneak one here.
Yeah.
After that, we have Palace versus Fulham. Palace in desperate needs of points, like they've been the whole season. Fulham had a good win against Brentford. It was against Brentford on Monday. We didn't cover it because it was only happening that evening. But I don't know about Palace in this one. I think Fulham might have the edge here.
I could see Fulham just snatching a 1-0 win in this game because Palace will try and make it tough for them. They'll try and be defensively resolute,
which hasn't really worked.
Which hasn't always worked for them. But Palace they've only scored 2 goals in one game. This season, if you get what I mean by that. But it's just they just haven't got enough of a goal threat. We've said it throughout the season. They just don't. So I think Fulham can. They'll grab a 1-0, I think, in this one.
I agree completely. After that, we have West Ham versus Everton. And we said off camera before, if West Ham do not win this game, the manager is sacked. He's gone. I think this is Everton at home. You have to win this game. There's no other excuses about it. I'm not going to back them, though, because I don't think they will. I'm thinking maybe a 1-1. A 1-1 Everton doing their job. I don't know what your thoughts are on
I think this could either go tremendous. This is either going to go tremendously well for West Ham. By that, I mean it's going to be a 3-0. Or I think it's going to go awful for West Ham. And it's just going to be a complete and utter collapse. And it's going to be a 2-0 to Everton or something like that. Which doesn't sound bad, but it is that would be a horrible result for them.
I think if they lose, Everton leapfrog them and they drop to 15th, 16th.
And the most dangerous time for managers is just before an international break or during an international break.
Which will then, I think, when it ends, it'll be the week going into December, which is even more of a problem for them.
So I think Lopetegui is under huge amounts of pressure for this game. I want to say that West Ham win this. I just think that with their quality, they've shown at times they should be winning this. They have to win this, I think. I'm leaning towards it being more of a 3-0 than Everton going and getting a 2-0, I think.
I'm just going to stick to a 1-1 and sacked. He'll be gone. Wolves, Southampton. Huge opportunity for Wolves to get some points and climb up a bit. They are still rock bottom, but we've said consistently they haven't been playing badly. They've just been shafted by the fixture list. I think at home, Wolves take this 2-0, maybe 2-1. I think that they'll get a huge 3 points, and I think if we're looking at the table, they'll climb out the relegation zone if they get a win here. So I think it's a start of a good run for them. I'm not sure what you think.
I think so. Southampton have sometimes they've surprised us at times this season. We haven't expected them to get some of the wins that they have, but I think the Wolves just have too much. If they can actually put together a full 90-minute performance, then maybe you think that they should be getting the win. At home, I think Wolves 2-0 is a fair call.
Okay. Then we get started into the big ones. Brighton versus Manchester City at Brighton. Do City lose their 4th consecutive game for the first time I think I can remember ever? Since Pep. I think there's a serious chance here of that happening.
There is. We wouldn't have thought it, but there is. I mean, with the way Brighton are playing, they caused Liverpool quite a scare. They haven't always managed to get the results when they've been playing well, but they've got the threat. They definitely do. They're going to have to be patient because we know what City are going to do. We know they're going to try and put together 200 passes in the first 20 minutes and beat the passing record, but we also know that City are really struggling. They're struggling at the back. They're conceding lots of goals. They're conceding goals that they don't usually concede.
They're so vulnerable on the counter-attack, and I think
they
that'll play into Brighton's hands completely.
It will. I mean, they're coming off an absolute lashing from Sporting Lisbon. I had to mention that because Ruben Amorim
He's already at the wheel.
He's already at the wheel. He's already got the mental over. Pep's going to be running. He's already fleeing. No, but... I think there's a real opportunity for Brighton if they are patient, if they are disciplined. I think there's an opportunity, and if they stay in their structure and their formation, I think there's a real opportunity for them in this game.
I agree. I think that it's going to play out, I think, very similarly to Liverpool scoreline wise. Yes. I don't think they're going to go and have as much possession and maybe have as many opportunities as they did against Liverpool. But this City are vulnerable. They really are. And I think that if Brighton are more clinical than they were against Liverpool, because they could have been 3-0 up at half-time, I think that City could drop points here. I think I'm going to go for 2-2.
I think that's
maybe
fair.
A 1-1, 2-2. Because we've seen City, even recently in this patch of form, they have 80% possession, but they don't have any sort of effective goal scoring. They're taking shots from outside the box, but... They don't. Teams don't mind that unless it's a Gvardiol Waldy, which can only happen so many times.
Yes.
I really don't see where the goals are coming from. Haaland again looks like he's struggling. No service whatsoever. I know De Bruyne is back now, but do they risk playing him full 90 and then he gets injured again? That's just the position he's in at the moment. I think this is a serious opportunity for Brighton, and I think that they're ruthless enough that they might take it. So I think this is going to be a tough one for City. So 1-1, 2-2.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Then we have Liverpool versus Villa. Like we said, the run I think we've passed the peak of the run, and now we're starting to come down.
Yes.
But this again is one of the most difficult games in the Premier League to play against Aston Villa. And Liverpool have been on a good run. I mean, they're off the back of a great win against Leverkusen. But they can't afford to start slowly against Villa like they did against Brighton. I think Villa have the players that will, Ollie Watkins, even though he hasn't been in great form, give him a chance, he'll probably bury it. John Duran, give him a chance, he'll probably bury it. Morgan Rogers, they have these young players, or they have an exciting team. Liverpool have to be ruthless this weekend. And I think this is another opportunity, like we said last weekend, where City are playing a difficult game, Arsenal are playing a difficult game. They could end this game week with a bigger gap, which would be amazing. So they need to take the opportunity, win the game, move on. Again, I don't think it'll be an easy match. I think Villa will be a huge, it'll be it's not going to be an easy game.
No.
And there will be periods where Villa get lots of chances, because Liverpool just seems so far that first half takes a while to get into the gear. And I think if they start the way that they did against Brighton, Villa will score a couple goals. So I'm hoping that from the off, Liverpool control the game. They shut up shop. Just build up slowly. Maybe a 2-1 Liverpool tight game.
Yeah, I think that's fair. They're going to have to watch out at set pieces as well, because we know that Amadou Onana's in there and he's a massive threat. He's going to cause... I think he will cause problems for Liverpool at set piece. We saw how they struggled against Arsenal there. But I think that Villa are just starting to hit a bit of a speed wobble as well. Their performances haven't been as consistent. They are leaking a few goals at the moment, so... they're not looking as tight at the back, so I think Liverpool have to go out and win this. I can see them getting a 3-1, I think, really.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I just think you have a guy like Salah who just needs one chance to bash it in. He just needs a little bit of space to cut back inside, bash it in. Luis Diaz is finally starting to find a little bit of form as
Cody
well.
Gakpo's been Cody Gakpo's
been. If you got those front three, and if Villa are leaking chances like they have been, then it could be game over for them.
I think it'll also be interesting how the midfield plays, because Aston Villa's midfield is really athletic and powerful. So it'll be a great battle how Onana, if McGinn plays, how McAllister, Szoboszlai, or Jones, Gravenberch, how they handle that.
Yeah,
because
that's going to be key.
I don't think there's really been a game this season where they've had to deal with that kind of athletic, but also strength, powerful threat. I think Arsenal maybe, but that wasn't a full strength Arsenal midfield. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting matchup, tight game.
Yeah.
Then on Sunday, we have United versus Leicester. What do you think about that?
Yeah, Ruud's last game in charge. United have to go out and get the win. Yeah, I think they need to go out and get a good, solid 3-0 win. We saw what even though it was a heavily changed Leicester, what they did to Leicester in the EFL Cup, sorry. So, yeah, it needs to be a similar sort of performance there. We've seen again against Chelsea that, this United side doesn't have the best finishing. They're still a bit profligate, even with Ten Hag having left. Taking the opportunities is still an issue. It'll be interesting to see how some of these players respond, because they have got guys like Alejandro Garnacho has got a lot of criticism since that Chelsea game, and they need to put in a performance to respond to that. They need to show even if it just is to show the incoming manager that, listen, I'm worth depending on. I'm putting up my hand for you, that kind of a thing. They need to do that, because this Leicester side, we've seen they're not defensively resolute. They've got one of the worst centre-backs or centre-back pairings in the league, They've really
it's a championship quality.
It is. It's a champion. They've got some good talent. I think guys like Vardy and Ndidi are going to cause United a couple of problems on the counter. I think they'll let United have most of the possession, and they'll try and hit United on the counter-attack. I think that's what Leicester are going to try and do, to release Vardy, try and use his pace to get in behind De Ligt or Martinez, and maybe give that. We've seen Delo's been a bit shaky, whether he's playing at right back or left back. He sometimes is a bit shaky with closing down. They'll try and target that. But I still think United have improved to a point that they should be getting a 3-0 win here. I really do. I think that if you get Marcus Rashford in space, Alejandro Garnacho is going to be trying to get in behind. Højlund needs to get in. I think he's been playing decently well, Højlund. He just needs a couple more chances. And I think there's a good opportunity for a good win here.
I think this is the perfect platform to go into the international break for United, because I think if Leicester get anything from this game, it'll be more United letting them get something than Leicester being the better side.
Yeah.
I know that Jamie Vardy's going to be ready and come, shithouse's way to try and do the best he can. But I think that this is United should get this.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for maybe a 2-1, because I can see Leicester getting a goal, but I think United should be stronger.
They should be.
If they aren't stronger than Leicester, the problems are so deep.
We know that the problems are in the squad, and when you have sort of Sir Jim Radcliffe coming out and saying, in the interview, saying like, listen, I know that there's problems in the squad. Then that everybody knows in that club already, the sporting director, the transfer direct, head of recruitment, whoever, this new CEO, they already know that there's an issue and that recruitment needs to be prioritized. But until the January window, this is what United have, kind of. So need to get by on that. It'll be interesting to see if I know that Mason Mount's back in training, see if he's involved from the bench possibly.
He'll probably get 10 minutes
before he gets injured again. The one constant about him, jeepers. But otherwise, I think it's probably going to be the similar team that ran out against. We know that Ruud said that he doesn't want to mess around too much. He doesn't want to institute his own style of play, because then that just confuses the players even more before Amarim's coming in next Monday anyway. So there's no need to do that. So it'll probably be a similar thing. It's frustrating as it is to see Garnacho constantly start, because I think he is more of an impact player, and he could benefit from being more of a impact player, with Marcus Rashford taking the lead on the left wing.
And Ahmad coming back in.
And Ahmad coming on the right wing. That's what I'd like to see, a front three of Rashford, Højlund and Ahmad. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to back Garnacho. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a couple of goals in this game. So, I think a 3-0. United need to win this.
Okay, then next up on Sunday, we have another massive game.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest versus Newcastle. And, Forest at home have been probably one of the most difficult games for any team this season. And they've got one of the best defenses. Their attack's firing. As good as Newcastle have been, they've got a massive win against Arsenal last week. this is not going to be an easy game
No,
for them
it's not.
at all.
Yeah, I could see the defence being put under more pressure than what Arsenal put them under. Surprisingly,
Definitely.
Going to Nottingham is not an easy thing to do, and this Forest team has no compunction about having a good go at teams, even if they are considered weaker than them. So, yeah, I could see, again, it could be a high-scoring draw, or I could see Nottingham snatching something here, maybe a 2-1 to Nottingham, I think.
I'm conflicted on this game because Newcastle have been inconsistent, and I think Forest have been a very, very good side so far. I mean, they're sitting in third for a reason. I don't know. I think I'm going to go for maybe a 1-1.
Yeah.
A 1-1 tight. Lots of teams getting chances. Both teams having a chance to win it.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But them not being clinical enough or a big save, goalkeeper performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to go for a 1-1. I'm going to sit on the fence for this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we have Spurs versus Ipswich.
Yeah,
and there's a Spursy performance on its way.
There's got to be a Spurs. Spurs. The one thing about Tottenham is they will be Spursy. It's just they've been on such a good run. They've been getting such good results. You just wonder where the speed bump's going to come in. And
I think it could be Ipswich.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
No honesty, I doubt it. But they should be winning this 4-0, 3-0 with the form that some of the guys have been in. Madison probably coming back into the starting lineup. They really should be taking a game like this. Ipswich wouldn't be expected to cause Spurs much problem when they, at the beginning of the season, we looked at this game. As good as Ipswich have been,
they've dropped down the table now.
They're just starting to drop. I don't know. I just think Spurs take this 3-0. Yeah.
I agree. They're at home. I think this will also be the sign of the, if they can win this game, there'll be 3 big results in a row.
Yes.
So maybe a 2-0.
Yeah.
A 2-0. Maybe Ipswich get a couple chances, but I think the way Tottenham play, they naturally just give opportunities away.
That's the one thing.
So,
a guy like Liam Delap could find himself on the counter attack, but
it's how clinical Ipswich will be.
It's how clinical they can be. Yeah.
And I don't think they can be. I think Tottenham to take this 2-0.
Yes. Yeah.
Then the final game of the game week 11.
Cheapest.
Chelsea versus Arsenal.
Yeah.
Another massive, massive game.
Yeah.
And this ends a brutal run for both teams. I think before the international break, but Chelsea playing Liverpool, United, and now Arsenal, then Arsenal playing Newcastle, Liverpool. And interestingly, that's not an easy run. No. And I think looking at it, I think Gunners could drop points again this weekend.
I think so.
I think even though Odegaard's reportedly back, I think their problems are structural. I don't think it's just Odegaard comes in and they score 5 goals. I don't think... Because they're not creating chances.
No.
So, I think I'm going to go for maybe a 2-2 draw here.
I think that's fair.
Chelsea, Cole Palmer really has been dipping in the past couple of weeks. He's getting more and more criticism for his lack of performances in the big matches.
Yeah.
So I think he'll step up this weekend. Yes. I think Chelsea will... they're probably a bit disappointed that they drew against United and then the loss against Liverpool.
Yeah.
But, I think 2-2. I think it's going to be a crazy game to watch, but I just don't see Arsenal being strong enough to get the 3 points away from home. Yeah,
it depends how Arsenal handle this. This could be another really ugly sort of dogfighty type of derby, like we saw at Old Trafford. It could be a really, really, game that's really battled it for in midfield, or it could be a basketball match where there's
I think even if
no
it is
midfield.
a basketball match, I don't think that suits Arsenal.
No, it doesn't.
I think they would want to have more control. I think Chelsea will want...
I agree. Yeah, they're going to want to try and control possession. If they sort of sit back and just defend, it could cause problems. But I think this is built for a draw. Yeah, I think a 2-2 or 1-1 is probably a fair prediction for this. Yeah.
And I would love to see the fallout of Arsenal fans on social media, because after last week, it was already hilarious.
Yeah.
And I think the sane Arsenal fans, we're not making fun of
There's
you guys, but
not many of them out there.
The few that are there, but watching the meltdown after the loss to Newcastle was genuinely... It was golden. Thank you so much for giving me that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. That has been Mixing with the DJs preview for Match Week 11 before the international break. Will Liverpool extend their gap at the top? Will City and Arsenal drop points? And will United get a win? It's been a while. Thanks for joining me, Dill.
Thanks. Yeah.